What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the sad reason why Drew McIntyre is off WWE television. WWE made a big mistake with the release star, the backstage reaction to those WWE releases, is Kevin Owens injured, Mandy Rose gets married, who will Goldberg face in his last match, LA Knight addresses his crown jewel Botch, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at WWE made a big mistake with the release star. Now, our top story today takes a look at recent comments from Baron Corbin, who's finally broken his silence when it comes to his WWE exit. Corbin joined a list of names that were released from WWE on Friday, and Corbin's release came as a huge surprise, as he had a storied WWE tenure, and even though he had been barely used in recent months, he was still extremely popular amongst fans, as well as within the locker room. While Corbin shared a cryptic tweet just before the reports became public on Friday, he's now broken his silence on his release, and on his latest Instagram post, a fan commented, "WWE fumble the bag letting you go." Replying to the comment, the former Money in the Bank holder shared his thoughts on it, saying, "I appreciate that and feel the same." The more controversial element from Corbin's release came from the fact that he was called back up to the main roster. Corbin was delivering arguably the finest work of his entire career down in NXT, and his pairing with Bron Breakker was being celebrated by fans. When Corbin was recalled up back to SmackDown, it was an expectation that he would be rewarded for working so hard on the NXT brand, but this never materialized in any way, shape, or form. Corbin would mainly be presented in a tag team with Apollo Crews, and the two are rarely featured on television. It makes no sense to pull a talent from NXT, put them back on the main roster, and then just do nothing with them. WWE should have simply kept Corbin in his established role in NXT, especially when the NXT brand is struggling for top names in the main event picture. One theory that is being thrown around by fans on social media is the idea that Corbin was on a lucrative main roster deal. With Corbin working NXT and not being featured on SmackDown in any capacity, it could be argued that it didn't make financial sense to keep Corbin on the roster. However, this is just speculation, and an official report would be needed to shed some light on this prominent rumor. Now, it's unknown what's next for the talented star, but he would be a great fit in a company such as TNA. Corbin was often praised for giving his all in every role he was given, and a company like TNA could benefit from someone as committed as the former Lone Wolf. Next up, the backstage reaction to WWE releases. Now, it was revealed on Friday that Indy Hartwell was one of the names cut by the company. The release would end her 5-year tenure with WWE, and a run saw her win the NXT Women's title and be a central part of numerous storylines. But according to a new report from Fightful Select, Hartwell's exit was the most unexpected out of the group of names that were released. It was reported that several staff, as well as talent in WWE, felt that she was coming into her own as of late, specifically pointing towards her social media skits. Now, it's never great to hear of a talent being cut, and hopefully Hart will find success in the next venture, whatever that may be. Next up is Kevin Owens injured. Now, the planned Kevin Owens vs Randy Orton match at Crown Jewel quickly broke down, and after the two engaged in endless physicality, Owens has now claimed that he believes he's injured. Speaking to WWE Digital following his match, the former Universal Champion had this to say, "I think I broke my ribs, but I walked out. Yeah, I got what I wanted. I don't trust the trainers. I don't trust anyone here." Now, it's a given that the Owens and Orton feud continues as we close out 2024. Owens vs Cody Rhodes seems like a more probable destination for Survivor Series War Games at the end of the month, and if this is still the plan, then it's possible that WWE keep Orton off television. Orton was taken out on a cart following the brawl with Owens, so it looks like WWE are indeed planting the seeds that Orton will be off WWE TV for the foreseeable future. Next up, the sad reason why Drew McIntyre is off WWE television. Drew McIntyre has been off TV since his brutal and barbaric Hell in a Cell match versus CM Punk. A lot of the fans have been wondering when McIntyre will be returning to WWE, as they have been advertising McIntyre for recent shows, but obviously he's not been appearing. According to Fightful Select, McIntyre is off TV currently for several reasons. As far as the injury that he suffered inside Hell in a Cell goes, McIntyre would have needed time off anyway due to receiving 16 staples after being hit in the head with the dreaded toolbox. Additionally, Fightful Select has added that McIntyre has been using the time to be with his family in Europe. McIntyre recently has been dealing with several personal losses, which is upsetting to hear. We're wishing McIntyre and his family all the best during this time, and we can't wait to see when McIntyre is back on TV when he's ready. Next up, Dawn Marie comments on upcoming return. Now, earlier this week, WWE announced that Dawn Marie will be making a guest appearance on the upcoming edition of NXT. Marie will be the special guest referee for a hardcore match between Jada Parker and Lola Vice, and this will mark her first appearance in almost 2 decades. Marie has since commented on her upcoming appearance by uploading a video to X, and in the video she stated, "Hello WWE Universe, I'm Dawn Marie, and I'm so excited to be back at the legendary ECW Arena this Wednesday, November 6th, to be the special guest referee for Lola Vice and Jada Parker's hardcore match. Ladies, I've been watching you back and forth for weeks, so when Ava called me and asked me to stand between you in Philadelphia, it was a yes. Anything goes in this hardcore match, bring your weapons, because it's going to become extreme." It looks like Marie is excited to be back in a WWE ring. Next up, who will Goldberg face in his last match? Just as Crown Jewel went on the air yesterday, WWE announced that Hall of Famer Goldberg will have his final match in 2025. It's not been reported when the match will be, but according to Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Goldberg vs Gunther will be happening, but it doesn't look like it's set for WrestleMania 41. I know when they shot the angle, I was told it wasn't going to be at Mania, but those things, that many months in advance, they may not have had it locked down. When they will do it. Reigning World Champion Gunther is open to facing Goldberg in his retirement match, and this is what he had to say during an interview with WWE's international team. So when our eyes crossed basically, I was like, why not break some balls a little bit? I've done him. He doesn't seem to be able to take things lightly. I tried lightening up the mood a little bit, but if push comes to shove and he thinks he wants to get back into the business and wrestle again, then I'm happy to teach him a lesson. Now, is Gunther the right person to retire Goldberg? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Mandy Rose gets married. Now, congratulations are in order for former WWE star Mandy Rose, who's now married. Rose would marry fellow former WWE named Tino Sabatelli this weekend, and the two tied the knot at the Park Chateau Estate and Gardens in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Huge congratulations to both, and we're wishing them many happy years of marriage. Next up, a possible spoiler on Gunther's next challenger. WWE is set to tape tomorrow's Raw in Saudi Arabia today, and for the show, WWE announced that a big-time fatal four-way match will take place between Rollins, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, and Sheamus. The match will determine the next challenger for the world champion Gunther. And on our latest episode of the Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer believes that the WWE are building towards Priest vs Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I was told that Priest would most likely face Gunther at the Saturday night main event show. It's unclear what that means for Survivor Series, as a rumored match was Gunther vs CM Punk for the world title, but it's unknown if WWE are planning to go in an alternative direction. And finally, LA Knight addresses his crown jewel Botch. Our final story today takes a look at the new comments from LA Knight, who has addressed his infamous botch from Crown Jewel yesterday. During the acclaimed US title triple threat, Knight would attempt to leap onto the turnbuckle, but he slipped. Knight has a habit of botching this exact spot, and some fans are even suggesting that he removes the spot from his moveset. But with that being said, in a rare move, he's addressed his botch spot directly on an interview with WWE Digital, and this is what he had to say. "Thankfully, it was more inner thigh that caught that. What's crazy is I overshot the hell out of that. You see my heel slip, pop, there it went. That stuff happens. Instead of me whining, crying, complaining about it, you know what's going to happen? Instead of celebrating probably for the next 3 or 4 days, I'm going to be in the ring and I'm going to be doing 3 to 5 sets of 10 and hitting that thing over and over again. I'm a little hot about it when I think about it." As this is a great way of covering for the botch, and Knight stating that he was going to practice delivering the move to avoid any further botches is a welcome touch which certainly adds to his babyface character. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.